straws.
Two-thirds of it. Two-thirds of an ounce. Two-thirds of an ounce would be enough. Okay? Matzahs we discussed already. Maror we discussed already. And, okay, wine itself. So what size? I last year went to Kate with Barrel. What's the store again? Something with Barrel. Crate and Barrel.
Yeah.
And I picked up about 10 glasses that are exactly 3 ounces. My kids, teenagers, were not happy because they thought that they're getting 5 ounces of wine, and I said, that's it. 5 ounces is no longer practice. We are now doing only 3 ounces, and that's what we do. 3 ounces there, and that's the shear that we use. What do you drink? Ramosha Feinstein was of the opinion that there's a requirement to feel chayrus, to go ahead and feel free, and the benefit or the impact of alcohol is actually a requirement. So he says that you do not fulfill your dalit kosos with grape juice. An interesting psak. So therefore, those who could do. Otherwise, there are other Gdolei Yisrael, including the Chazon Ish, who drank grape juice. So some say big deal. He took 5 ounces. Grape juice, 5 ounces, no big deal. But the truth is that grape juice would be fine. If those of you who could use wine. Some people mix. You put a third wine, a third grape juice, a third water. Then you have the light wines that have 4%. It is all fine. Red is considered nice, even though there were periods in our history that we only used white, unfortunately. But due to the blood libels that occurred in Europe, but red is considered ideal. That's what we have. What else do we have?
So, the coffee, the newest Nespresso machine, can they be kosher? Like if I use them all year, can I use them for Pesach?
Okay, if what you used throughout the year was only for non-decaf and non-flavored, it would be fine, because it was only used for Pesach. All coffee, remember, all coffee, real coffee, I don't mean instant, is 100% kosher LaPesach. The only question has to do with decaf, because the way they decaffeinate most beans, not all, is with a solution that has some alcohol. So decaffeinate is we consider chametz, unless you have like Sanka, which uses a Swiss freshwater system, that there is no alcohol. So if you have a machine, whatever it is, a coffee, a Keurig, that you used it only for caffeinated beans, and not with flavors, because flavors, of course, could be chametz, that would be fine. Okay, that's something you'd have to find out.
But if you wash it in your chametz sticks, anything like that?
You have to know realities. There's mamish, chametz. You could go and some. The Rabbi Yosef Karo uses the rule of rov shimusho. In other words, if the majority is fine, so Ashkenazim are more machmer. The question is how far you go. One of the most a modern question I'll share with you. Do you the flat surface stovetop? It's a pleasure to clean. Some believe that there's an issue with Pesach. Have you ever heard that there's an issue with Pesach? So let's say you have one. How do you use it? So this is the solution to the problem is you clean it. Okay, you clean it well. And during Pesach itself, try to avoid spills. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Now, what do you mean try to avoid spills? What happens if it happens? I'll tell you soon. Ideally, there should be no liquid. If you have 2 pots, and one of them contains something that's not kosher, and one of them contains something that's kosher, and the 2 touch, and there's no liquid between the 2 pots, they're touching on the outside. You get the picture? Touching on the outside? So pot, inside this pot tray, nothing is transferred in between the 2. If there's no liquid, there's no transfer. Therefore, when we talk about double wrapping, how does it work? It's all about when you double wrap and there's no liquid or condensation between the 2, nothing is transferred. If you take a pot and put it on your flat range, and there's no liquid there, even if it was used for chametz, it makes no difference. Nothing penetrates your cooked items. Now, what happens if there is a spill? And that does happen. And then there is water touching your pot, and at the same time touching the surface, which had chametz beforehand. So that surface is glass. And technically speaking, glass really is something that doesn't really need kashrut. For Pesach, we're machmir. But due to the fact that it's 24 hours after usage, it would be 100% fine. So if you do have a spill, clean it and put your pot back. Meaning, the concern is not as serious as some note. There is a way around it, a halachic way around it, and that is to use it after it's cleaned well, perhaps turn all burners or something that you should turn all burners that they reach a glow.
But not all at once.
What was that? Not all at once, because you will
All at
bust it.
once.
You will bust it.
Yes.
Okay. I unfortunately had years ago busted. Not me, but when you go ahead and give a guide someone halachically, it's your responsibility.
At least you didn't use a blowtorch.
Blowtorch also. Anyway. Okay. And one last question before we give our thank yous. Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and it's an opportunity to wish everyone a Chag Kosher Sameach. Feel free to ask any questions, send me an email, give me a call, and we'll be in touch. We should enjoy. The main thing is Samachta v'Chagecha, and may we indeed fulfill it to the fullest.